We're live now.
Well, hello there, folks. No intro again for you guys. I don't know why, but we decided not to do intros apparently now on the MCU's Bleeding Edge. So just FYI, if you do not see intros, just be wary.
Change of
But
pace.
anyways, welcome to the live stream on Wednesday night, September 4th, 2024. We're here to talk about the 2015 film Pixels. As you can see, I am moderating again when it's not my week, just FYI. So if it's weird that you're seeing me again, that's why. But it's all good. It's all good. That's just how it works. Anyways, like I said, Pixels is the movie we'll be talking about tonight.
The scheduling department had issues, sir.
Sometimes, yeah, I can see that. Anyways, like I said, we're talking about the film Pixels. If you don't know what this is, it is a Happy Madison production from Sony Pictures that came out in 2015. It stars Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Brian Cox, Michelle Monaghan, Josh Gad, to name a few that are in it. And this, movie is one of my favorites. I absolutely love this film. I think it's fun. I think it's awesome. I love the whole concept of the video game coming to life by alien invaders. I think that was a great concept. This is based off of a short film that it's loosely based off of. That was from 2010. The guy that actually made the short film is an executive producer on the film. This also had a lot of copyright problems too during its release. It actually got taken down a couple of times because of supposed copyright infringement because of some of the video games they used. But, unfortunately, that's just how the cookie crumbled for this. But this film, like I said, came out in 2015. Came out July 24th of 2015. Had a budget of between 88 to 129 million. It ended up making 244.9 million worldwide. So it wasn't considered a flop. It actually, made some money. So that was good. Even though, a lot of people might consider the film a flop, especially because it has an 18% Rotten Tomato score, which cracks me up. I'm like thinking to myself, I've seen a lot worse films. I don't know why this has such a low score, but, some people just don't have taste, as I like to say. But anyways, this is directed by Chris Columbus. Now, Chris Columbus, you might recognize as a director of great films such as the first two Harry Potter films. You might recognize him as the director of Mrs. Doubtfire. You might recognize him, for several films that he has done over the years. I think he's a fantastic director. I really enjoy him. I think he does a great job. And I just really enjoy him. And I think that he did a pretty decent job with this. Want to shout out Mr. Dom in the comments section. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mr. Dom. Great job, sir, having you in the comments section. So just to start off, Mr. Jeff, is this your first time seeing the film, or have you seen it before? And is it what you were expecting?
This was my first and last viewing of Pixels for the rest of history, and because I don't rewatch movies very much, and I don't see this one because it's not a film that's in my genre of film, so it wouldn't be something that I would lend towards anyway. Since I stick mostly to either like fandom MCU type stuff or like adult, dramatic, darker, kind of content. That's what I gravitate towards. It was my first watch, and I was aware of the existence of the movie. I knew the gist or the basic concept of the film going into it, from just like media sources and stuff like that or whatever. I knew what the gist of it was, and it was probably about what I expected it to be. For what it is, being a film that's not within my personal cup of tea genre, if it's meant to be a film that's lighthearted for like a family film or whatever like type of film, if that was the goal of it, then it succeeded with that. It's a good movie in that vein from my perspective. For an audience that's a purveyor for that kind of content. It just wouldn't be my go-to. It wouldn't be something I would go to the movie theater to see. I'm not a big video game person. I never played any of the classic games because I was too young to go to the arcade and stuff like that when arcades were popular. And they were unpopular by the time I got old enough. But it wasn't. It was better than it could have been. I'll put it to you that way, sir. I know you love the movie, so I'll be very gentle in my critique.
All right, so this isn't actually considered a lighthearted film. It's actually a sci-fi action comedy. So it definitely has humor to it because it is Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler always does humor, unless you see like films like Punch Drunk Love, Uncut Gems, Spanglish, stuff like that. This is definitely one of his more comedy films, but it does have a lot of great action. And, I myself personally still had runarounds with these games as a kid. I really enjoyed it. And I enjoy those types of games. I mean, Donkey Kong is amazing, Graham. If you're a big fan of like films like Wreck-It Ralph 2, any game, Street Fighter video movies or anything like that, anything big game, this is that type of movie that has that. And the sci-fi element, I think, is a great element to this. I think adding that sci-fi with the comedy was, I thought, real genius. And I think that the story wise and storyline, I thought, worked really well for its realm. Now, funnily enough, this was actually co-created or written as a story by Tim Hurley, who was a former writer on SNL and was a big component during Adam Sandler's days on SNL. And he actually was a co-screenwriter too as well, which I thought was kind of interesting because I felt it had SNL vibes to it. And so I think that the cast itself is really done well. I mean, I think, you got Adam Sandler, Kevin James together, always play really well together. I mean, Josh Gad added was super funny, especially his like conspiracy theory type of thought process was really funny and really awesome. Spanglish was good, Dom. Spanglish was very good. And you're welcome, sir. And I think that, for what this film is, just like as you mentioned, Jeff, I think that overall, I think what makes it the best about it is the whole premise of the film. Not necessarily the acting, the writing, all that kind of stuff, but the animation in this film, the CGI work was done really well. I thought Sony did a good job of giving us really quality CGI and animation for this film. Now, this film, like I said, I gave you kind of the brief rundown of what it was, people. But to kind of get you into thought process of a little more about it. So this takes place, the movie starts off basically in 1982 at an arcade where Will Cooper watches his friend Sam Brenner basically lose to a championship game of Donkey Kong to Eddie the Fire Blaster Plant. Now, we see this all in a video cassette footage. We see that all of a sudden this gets launched out of space like a time capsule from that time frame, and somehow extraterrestrial life gets a hold of this video cassette, watches it, and thinks that it's a declaration of war, basically. So the whole beginning of the film, the first 20 minutes is all them playing at the arcade and showing Sam losing to Eddie that Donkey Kong championship. At present day, president, who is played by Kevin James, is, that was basically Will Cooper, is now president of the United States. Sam is now a electronics installer, or as he calls himself, a nerd, for the fake geek squad of Best Buy, Nerd Squad it's called, or whatever. And they basically all of a sudden have in Guam their base attacked by some creatures that look just like a video game. And basically, the president ends up calling in Sam to say, do you recognize his voice? Do you recognize the sound? Does that look like the video games we grew up with, kind of deal? And it happens to be in the form of the game Galaga. If you're not familiar with the game of Galaga, go check it out. Check it out online. Classic game, kind of similar to like Centipede, where you're firing and destroying these like centipede things and stuff like that, which the extraterrestrials have been able to form basically, in that form of that video game with their technology, which I think would be really awesome if real aliens could do that, if there are aliens out there. I think that would be super cool if you come down and be like, yeah, I'm going to create a video game in real life. I think that would be cool. So basically, kind of the introduction of the film, sir.
Oh, I apologize. It's actually pretty good. It's probably the best part of the film for me. Is the intro flashback sequence. It was pretty well done, and I liked the younger actors that portray, going into and realizing that this is a flashback, and it's going to segue to, the main characters of the film. That, so you're automatically expecting, to judge how well they do with the matching of the younger actors with the older actors. I thought they did a really good job for the most part. The kid that was supposed to look like Adam Sandler did not look as Adam Sandler-ish as the other kid that looked like supposed to look like Kevin James, and the Josh Gad or whatever Gad got kid, like they looked pretty resembling it or whatever. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I liked the actor that played the younger Peter Dinklage. That was pretty cool. The casting of the movie is really good. That's one highlight out, one credit out to try to point out something positive in the film. I like the casting of the film. The only element that is a part of the intro would be Kevin James. I don't like Kevin James in films very much. I liked him in King of Queens. I used to watch it with my wife back in the day when it used to be on. That was one of our go-tos, so I used to watch that quite a bit. And I liked him on King of Queens with Leah Remini. But I haven't liked him in the films I've seen him in. His shtick just isn't my deal. Like his type of comedy isn't very effective with me in film. But the opening is pretty solid. I don't know what happened to Andres Pop Culture guy. I guess he's having major pixel level Wi-Fi issues or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's all I got, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Great job there. 1,000,000 points just for you because you were the only one here, and you did a fantastic job, sir.
Isn't that amazing how that works like that?
I know, it's so amazing, so amazing. All right, so yeah, totally. That beginning sequence, the flashback, it sets up everything very nicely. I like that. I like that it gets right into it. I like that they show, kind of what happened in the past that leads to where Will and Sam are in present day. And I think that the whole situation is pretty funny. That great sequence when he first meets Michelle Monaghan is absolutely hilarious, especially when he goes in the closet and starts listening to her spout off. And he goes in for that kiss, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And you're just kind of like, you were bearing your soul, so I thought this was a good moment to do that. But, he's like, nothing. I wasn't trying to kiss you. It was super funny. And, over the years, it's kind of funny. Michelle Monaghan, I never really thought was very attractive. But as time has gone on, she's gotten more attractive to me. So, like, rewatching her in this, I was kind of like, you know what? She is pretty hot in this. Yeah, she's pretty hot. What do you I forget. Are you a Michelle Monaghan fan?
Yeah, I am. I'd say I guess I would say that I'm a fan. I always like her. I always like her the parts that she plays in the films I see her in. I've never found her to be a detractment in anything that I've ever seen her do.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So after Sam is shown by the president what's going on, they basically start to try to figure out what they can do, and basically they end up kind of coming in contact with the Wonderkin Lamonsoff, and basically he ends up saying that I kind of see that I saw this coming. We kind of had some interactions that show that this was going to happen and stuff like that. And he ends up showing Sam kind of some things that, that were related to this happening. And he came across, in his basically his covert, operations of trying to discover out, secrets. He ends up coming across a signal from the aliens. And of course, they, in the form of, former 80s icons and stuff like that. And so Sam's shown this, and, he's like, we need to get the band back together, basically, him and Lamonsoff, and to, battle this and, what to do, basically. So basically, they end up seeing that the video cassette is a declaration of war, and that they're attacking the Earth with, arcade game icons. Basically, the aliens have challenged the Earth to, best of 5 battles, claiming Earth has already lost the first match. The next attack is at the Taj Mahal in the form of Arachnoid. But Sam and Will cannot persuade people, and Earth loses the second match. So by this point in the film, the Earth itself has lost 2 of the 5 matches. So we have only 3 more that we can win to try to save the Earth. So after the Taj Mahal gets, attacked, basically that's when they decide that they're going to start this, game player team, and they start to get trained by Navy SEALs and train the Navy SEALs how to play games with the special energy weapons they have developed, because these aliens are made of some sort of light that somehow can be destroyed by using these electronic devices. So the team heads to London, where the aliens attack Hyde Park in the form of Centipede. So we have that giant battle sequence where Sam and them are all jump in and start blasting the crap out of Centipede. And Sam, being such a great whiz at video games, he's like really natural at it. And so we have that great battle sequence with Centipede in Hyde Park, which I love that they used Hyde Park. That was super funny that they decided to do one of the battles in London. And I liked how it went all over the world. I thought that was a really cool idea too, so that we got to see some great landscapes. As the soldiers lose, Sam and Ludlow step in to win with their gaming skills. Like I said, the aliens set a trophy in the form of the Duck Hunt dog after they win. So as you win, you get trophies as they suggest. And just like with the 2 losses they already had, 2 of their people have been taken as trophies who are of importance, which we find out. So that section of the film, finding out what's going on, the 2 attacks, the Arachnoid game, and then of course the Centipede game. What were your thoughts on that section, visually or story-wise? What did you think about that sequence?
Andres Pop, what's your RB?
You, Sir Jeff.
Okay.
I didn't realize he was back.
He is. He's here. So anyways, visually, I don't know. I guess I'd have to say that for 2015 and the sort of concept of the film being what it is with the arcade style graphics, it's good. They look good. The effects look good, and just like very, again, like it's arcade style, so it's very like young audience kind of geared for me, like the action. It's tempered with humor, and and so the whole like seeing the like the nerd guys go out and like they're the ones instead of the military that go out and fight the fucking alien arcade people or whatever the fuck. Like they're out there fighting them and shit or whatever, and all the fucking Navy SEALs and shit are like holding their dicks or whatever, or like playing with themselves. You know what I'm saying? And like Adam Sandler's out there with fucking Josh Gad or whatever the fuck his name is, and they're fighting the aliens. I'm like, come on, bro, come on. And I knew that they were going to have to put everybody in the battle eventually, and that there would be like there would be a shot where like Violet would suit up. I knew it, and then they dropped it on me later on. They served it up, yeah. So the romantic angle with Adam Sandler and Michelle Monaghan or whatever does not work. Like it doesn't work. Adam Sandler's romantic shit in his movies is always the same. He's always like really demure and like and really quiet and like fucking like all stupid around women and shit or whatever, and cracks his little jokes and shit. But they like fall in love with him anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he plays like hard to get and all this shit. It's always the same trope with him. It never changes. And so that part just did not work for me. Like, he goes in the closet with the chick to like, and like tries to kiss her, and she says no and turns him down. Come on, bro. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit she's drinking fucking wine out of a sippy cup or some shit. Come on. That's all I got to say, sir.
Okie dokie. All right, Andres, welcome back, sir. And since you were not here for the previous question, I will ask you the previous question as well. So first off, sir, how many times have you seen this film? And what kind of are your first impressions? And then after that, we have gone up to the point where they have the Centipede battle in Hyde Park in London.
Okay.
Centipede, bitch.
Centipede. I am very old. I was like Centipede. Oh god. Anyway, this is my first time watching this movie because I heard, I mean, when this came out, people were saying it was not good and all that, so I didn't see this in theaters. But I was surprised. I really enjoyed it. It's not the greatest film, but I think it's a very fun movie. I really enjoy it. I like Adam Sandler. I mean, his comedy is to taste, but when it's good, it's good. And what I like about the beginning part here, it's not like it doesn't have that usual like Adam Sandler comedy that's like very like they take so far with the gross out humor that I don't like. And here, this movie doesn't really do that much of it, which is good. I like the jokes. Like, come on, I love Kevin James. I think the idea of him being the president is really cool. Like, I mean, like it was very funny. Like, can you even speak these very like electrical like words? Like, he cannot spell a word, and he gets in trouble because of with the kids and all that. That was very funny. It's just so funny, and of course the video of him with his wife doing the cake thing, I laughed so hard about that. I don't know about you guys. I was like tickler. So like I was like, what the hell is going on here? The premise I really like, the idea of alien invaders seeing the video that they said in 1982. That's kind of unique, and I like the idea of seeing these video game creatures to life. I think the special effects is really good. I actually like how they made it like digital, like pixels, like for real. And I kind of appreciate that, and it looks colorful. That's the thing. I really like it. I really like how like it's almost like the 80s films of Steven Spielberg or George Lucas film, and that's the thing I like about this first act. It has that setup, which is cool. Yeah, and when I agree with you, Jeff. I mean, the Michelle and Sandra relationship is okay. I mean, that's typical, blockbuster thing. It's like, excuse me, like it's like we always have to have the love interest, and it's very stereotypical. But I didn't have a problem. It's not like annoying as certain films, that we seen, but it's okay. But I did laugh when he asked her like, "Are you crying in the closet, man?" And she like replied, "Yes." And I like that, that conversation. I find that funny. It's like, "Excuse me, man, I'm gonna go into the closet." um, so that was very funny. The London thing was really cool. First off, I cannot like Brian Cox as the angry like no like nonsense general is so funny. I just love how he's like shining is like we need this. We need to pull up a ram. Like these are the guys that they're attacking us. I'm like, dude, calm down. It's not the Iran. This is actual ET stuff, sir. Like, I was like, wow. And I cannot believe this. Of all the people for London, Sean Bean is in this movie. I was like, whoa, I can't believe that he's in this movie. And he was so funny. The British shimmer is like talking to Josh Gad is like, you whiny pecker, whatever he called him, is like, I was like, wow. And then him hugging Brian Cox was funny. And they were like, we're going to die. So yeah, so I thought that was funny. I was happy that Sean B didn't die. Like I don't know, like I was like, oh, pray the Lord he didn't die. By those centipede creatures and in that scene. But yeah, I thought I really enjoyed the first act. I wasn't bored. I actually laughed a couple of times, which is great compared to other Adam Sandler films. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this first half.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. All right. Excellent. And nice to have you in the comments there, Mr. Wrath. Good to see you, sir. And of course, both great job. Good job, guys. Excellent. All right. So yeah, I think that the visual effects, like I mentioned before in this, were done really well. I mean, the pixel look and everything. When the pixels touch things, it disintegrates them just like pixels. And I think that was really cool. I thought the CGI work was done really well. I think that they put a lot of good effort into, the visual effects for this film, which worked out really well and just looks really pristine. So at this point, this is when we go to an adult Eddie now. He is in prison at the moment. And basically go to get him out because he's such a great gamer, they could use him to help fight the aliens. So they go and talk to him, and he has all these demands, and they say, okay, we'll kind of get some of these done for you and stuff like that if you come help us. And he's like, okay. And so they come to an agreement. So he's free from prison to assist in the New York City battle, where the team fights in Mini Coopers as Ghost against a giant Pac-Man, which I think is super awesome. And Pac-Man looks so awesome and just so amazing. And the introduction of Peter Dinklage is so freaking hilarious in this. Him and his like mullet hairdo and his whole demeanor and like how he talks is like super funny. And like Jeff's mentioned before, totally the actor they got at the beginning of the film, I felt was exactly Peter Dinklage at that age. Like you could see very much a resemblance, and I thought that they were casted really well. And I definitely agree with that. And I thought that it worked really well. So once they're battling Pac-Man, franchise creator of Pac-Man, Toru Iwatani tries to reason with it, but gets his hand bitten off. Sam tricks Pac-Man and wins the game with Q*bert as a trophy. Before the aliens announced that there was cheating in the game, meaning Earth forfeits the challenge. Violet's son, Maddie, discovers that Eddie used the cheat code written on the inside of his glasses, and that he had cheated in the same way in Donkey Kong match as a child. Eddie flees and the aliens abduct Maddie. So this sequence I think is really fantastic, really fun. This whole battle in New York is so cool. The Mini Coopers used to be kind of like the ghost vessels, like in the Pac-Man game. Like I said, the introduction to Peter Dinklage is amazing, and I think this sequence is just really done well. So, going to the panel, what were your thoughts on this sequence? What did you think about Peter Dinklage, his introduction? What did you think about the whole Pac-Man scenario? What did you think about Toru Iwatani, who is supposed to be the real creator of Pac-Man? Of course, the gentleman in the film was an actor, because unfortunately the other guy, he was not available at the time. So what did you guys think about that section? Starting with you, Andres.
So this scene was pretty cool. I really dug the idea of making the Mini Coopers as like those like I guess ghosts that they call it in the game. Really neat. I like it. It was very funny. They of all the people to be the fourth member, they brought in the career of Pac-Man, which was hilarious. And I knew, like, I seen this clip before with him going up to the Pac-Man. It's like, he's my son. I was like, dude, he's a video game creature. It's like, I was like, oh wow, I created him. He's been brainwashed. I was like, wow, really? Okay. And then he's like, here, and then bam, eats his hand. I was like, wow. And then the scream, like just running off, was hilarious, and like, wow. That for me was just, I was just laughing really hard on that part. It was just like very funny that Pac-Man career got eaten. Well, his hand eaten by his own creation. Um, yeah, and I did like the use of New York as like the game, for the maze. Like that makes a lot of sense. I mean, like if you've been in New York, it is a maze, you know. So that was really cool, and yeah, I like how in this movie, what I appreciate with this film, they did a good job of incorporating like the game, like mechanics and the rules that you had to do in the arcade. That was really neat. If if these creatures touch the like power level or whatnot, like you're going to be affected by it. Like, of course, in this case, they have 10 minutes to get away from Pac-Man. If he gets the superpower, they get eaten by it for under 10 minutes. If he gets get them, eat them. So that was really cool, and I thought the action was really well directed. I mean, Chris Columbus, he's been a good director. I mean, he knows how to direct these kind of scenes. I mean, if you've seen the Harry Potter films and Home Alone, like he does a really good job of these like action or like big scenes like these, and I think this was a well directed scene. Uh, Peter Dinklage, I love him. He's a great actor. When when the beginning happened, as you say, Cyber, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be Peter Dinklage, right? And he did, and he's the best character. He's like the MVP. He's just so over the top. And out of all the hottest women he wants to be with, he wants to be with Serena Williams and Martha Stewart. I was like, what? I was like, I was like, I was like, what kind of like he couldn't think about like Shakira, Jennifer Lopez, or like Scarlett Johansson as the president Kevin James was talking about in the beginning. I was like, wow. So I was laughing out, of course, when he brings up the island. It's like, wow. So Pierre was so great. I really liked him. He really had good chemistry with the cast here. But yeah, I thought the sequence was not that bad. I really enjoyed it. It's just the third act is kind of like, but we'll get into that.
All right. Jeff, same question. Your thoughts on that section of the film?
Well, I think that the recruitment of the Peter Dinklage character was entertaining. It was somewhat funny. That part at least was, and the concept of the massive Pac-Man deal, yeah, it was visually amusing. you know, like it was interesting, I guess, to see it on screen. The deal with the cars as the ghosts in the battle, I didn't care for very much. I didn't like the cars, and you know, I just didn't care for the concept of the battle, like how they had to fight it to win it or whatever, to vanquish the, you know, the Pac-Man alien shit or whatever. It's really opportunistic as hell that Michelle Monaghan's character, like, is first she's the love interest, then she like works for the president and makes their weapons and shit, and like becomes they're like Q or whatever, you know, like James Bond shit, like making their weapons and shit and everything. Like it's very fruitious or whatever the fuck the word is. The whole deal with the whole trope where they're playing, like, where you know, they come to the realization that Eddie was cheating or whatever when they played arcade games in the beginning of the film. That was kind of like whatever to me. I was like, okay, you know, like, I guess. So yeah, the whole like concept of like the world was going to be destroyed if, like, based off of who won these battles or whatever, was just like a little bit too much for me. I was like, come on now, like, but whatever. And it was Violet's son, Maddie, that discovered the code. I didn't realize that, the cheat code on the glasses. Oh, okay, now I get it. All right, cool. Yeah, so who is I didn't realize that the aliens abducted Maddie. That's what happened. I was wondering what happened there at that point of the movie.
Yep.
Yes, yeah, it happened.
Oh man, so they really, like, that changes the stakes of the game, huh? It's a game changer. That's all I got, sir.
All right. I don't know what's so funny, but okay. Anyways, we'll play the trailer now, sir.
Okay.
Well, there we go, folks. Little trailer for you guys to show you what we're talking about. Here. Yeah. Talking about Pixels, the movie. Now, when this got released, this was released in 3D. It was actually around the time when 3D became very popular again. It was around 2010, 2011 when 3D all of a sudden came back and became very popular. And it probably lasted until about 2018, 2019, I feel, and that's when it kind of started dying out again. We do get a few films that are in 3Ds, but this film came out in 3D. I did not get a chance to see it in 3D or in theaters, but I did watch it 3D on TV, which was really cool because there are some really great scenes that have some good like points where that the creatures look like they're coming out of the screen, which was really cool, especially, you know, for video games. You're like, well, who wouldn't want a video game in real life, in their real life, which would be really cool. But anyways, really awesome, really well done there. All right, great trailer. What did you think of the trailer, guys? What did you think, Jeff? Did you think it was an enjoyable trailer or not?
It was okay. It was edited very, very intentionally and very well to be a trailer, you know. So like when it shows that Japanese guy saying that stuff about like the Pac-Man, like he's actually in the movie, he actually like finishes his statement with like bitch, like, or whatever, like at the end, and it sounds so stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if they would have actually like had him talk all the way through and had the bitch part, it would not have been it wouldn't have worked very well. So I don't know. It was okay. It was entertaining for a trailer. I don't know how well it held up to the film though.
Okay. Andreas, what did you think of the trailer?
I seen this trailer before. It's well constructed. I mean, I like how it's very interstellar, like gravity, kind of like the beginning is like, oh yeah, mankind sent this, like archive of all these life and culture, and then it was supposed to be the symbol of peace, and then nope, the aliens just took that as the message of war, baby, and it's like that's what happened. And I was like gonna say I like how they didn't reveal too much of like the stuff in the film, which is good. Um, yeah, I mean, you have to remember, Jeff, like back then, like not now, like back then, there was always scenes they altered to like to kind of trick people, or like it's just another cut of the scene. It's gonna play out differently, like
They still do it sometimes.
yeah, sometimes, yeah, still today, like Marvel's always has done that, since 2008. So, I was not surprised that they bleep out the bitch thing. And of course it's gonna be different. Like, of course it's so much funnier in the film because like you get the full contents of it, and it's just funny. But I forgot that they actually had that in the trailer. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. The creator come up and he's like, "I'll treat you, my boy." I was like, "Good boy, you grown so big," and like, bam, get eaten by Pac-Man, and then runs and tells them to kill that little big thing. But yeah, great trailer. It was very fun.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you. All right. I really enjoyed the trailer. That's what really got me into wanting to see the film. I remember first watching the trailer back in 2015, going, "Oh my god, this looks fucking amazing!" I totally, it drew me in and totally made me, especially because of the whole video game thing, and then the sci-fi element too. I mean, anything aliens always pulls me in because I absolutely love alien films. I think aliens are fun. I think aliens are interesting concept. And there's just so much out there that we don't know what exists in the galaxy. So I think that makes it very mysterious. So aliens just seem like such a cool concept. So anything that like that always brings me in. It's like going to see Independence Day back in '96, or any other alien film like that, the Alien films and so forth. So it just that really pulled me in. And then put in Adam Sandler, I'm like, I'm there. And I think that it was a really well concepted idea and film. So I think it's a really fun film. All right. So after the abduction of Maddie, the aliens attack Washington, D.C. with an army of video game characters. One attacks Ludlow in the form of Lady Lisa, a character with whom he has a crush. Ludlow persuades her to side with him. A repentant Eddie returns to the fight. Sam, Violet, and Will are all summoned to the alien mothership for a last chance to save Earth by facing the leader as Donkey Kong. The trio is placed on the starting level with Donkey Kong and the captives at the top level. Sam sees that the pattern of barrels of fireballs is random and loses hope until Maddie reveals Eddie's cheating. Realizing that he is the world's best Donkey Kong player, Sam's spirit is restored and he defeats Donkey Kong. Lisa and the aliens leave Earth. That just how they worded that did not sound right. So then the team is hailed as heroes, and Will negotiates a peace agreement with the aliens. Eddie apologizes to Sam for cheating and acknowledges him as the best Donkey Kong player. Ludlow is devastated that Lisa is gone, so Qbert transforms its likeness to Lisa. Sam and Violet start a romantic relationship, while Eddie meets Serena Williams and Martha Stewart. The aliens restore everything on Earth, including Awatani's hand. 1 week later, Ludlow and Lisa are married and have Qbert-like children. All right. So the battle in Washington is pretty long. I mean, it's a good chunk of the film. I would say it's probably a good, 30 minutes long, 35. And, I think that the whole Lady Lisa thing with Ludlow is freaking hilarious, especially that actress that played Lady Lisa. She's absolutely hot. And I can totally see somebody fall in love with a video game character, having a crush on it and stuff like that. I totally get that because there have been several times I found Cammy and I found
I've got a crush on that new Star Wars chick that looks like a dude from the new Star Wars game, the ugly bitch. That's who I'm into.
Well, that's good to know. Cammy and Chung Li are were super attractive, video game characters. There was a game called Darkstalkers that came out in the 90s, and had also very scantily clad hot chicks too. So I totally get Ludlow's obsession with this Lady Lisa chick, and so I totally get it. And I think it's absolutely hilarious they pulled that into this and had Josh Gad, basically with this whole persona and crap like that was absolutely hilarious. I loved it. And the whole Donkey Kong battle I think is really awesome. I think the music was fantastic in it. Sam getting his hope returned to him because he finds out that Eddie cheated and that he's really the best Donkey Kong player just is really awesome. It's one of those good guy triumphant type of ending, which is how I like my films. I like my films where the ending is a happy ending. It just makes it so much funner because who wants to watch fucking reality? Nobody wants to watch fucking reality because it's not fun. Reality is there for a reason. Movies are supposed to help you get out of reality. So that's why I like movies like that. So that having that kind of him get that boost is really awesome. And I think it's really fun. And then them basically, making the peace agreement with the aliens, Hubert eventually turning into Lisa is absolutely hilarious. The whole Serena Williams, Martha Stewart thing is freaking hilarious with Eddie. That was absolutely hilarious. And Hubert and Ludlow having babies is absolutely hilarious, and they look like Hubert is so freaking funny because when Hubert they get him as a trophy, I was cracking up, going, out of all the characters, you decide to have it be Hubert. I'm like, really? Hubert can't do shit. I would want Zangief or something like that as my trophy, please, or Chung Li or Cammy or something. Give me some character that would be of some use. Hubert has no freaking arms, and he goes that would drive me nuts. I feel so. The fact that he turns into Lady Lisa, is absolutely hilarious, and I think was really done well. So, as Jeff had mentioned earlier, the whole love thing between Sam and Michelle Monaghan's character, he doesn't feel like it works too well in the film. I think at the end, it ends up working out, I think, to the advantage of the film. I think that, they end up becoming a couple at the end, which I think works well. Their chemistry throughout the film, I think that it's not the greatest, like you said. I think Adam Sandler's relationships are very always the same, just like Mr. Jeff said. But at the same time, it gives all those nerdy guys out there, an idea of what it'd be like if you were that type of person and what you'd have to deal with. So I think that he does doing that for all his movies and being that kind of hopeless romantic, I think is absolutely hilarious, and I think it's fun and enjoyable. All right, so guys, this last segment of the film, what did you guys think? What did you think about the Donkey Kong battle? What did you think about that giant kind of battle at the end when that giant mothership comes down? And kind of just your thoughts on the whole Hubert thing, the Lady Lisa thing, and just overall kind of your final thoughts on the film. I'll start with you, Jeff.
Well, I guess the relationship between the two, the lead female character and Adam Sandler's character does service the film well. That I would definitely would agree that it finalizes their chemistry or whatever, pays off at the end to be an addition to the film. As an accompanying storyline or whatever, to the main storyline of the film, it's effective in that nature. And I get what you're talking about, Cyber. That Adam Sandler portrays characters that can be very emulated, maybe, or looked at by certain guys or whatever, and they see something in that character, that connects to them in real life. So like, it's a win for them to see him win, or whatever kind of deal. I get all that. Like that makes sense to me. So again, I like Adam Sandler. He's been around forever, and he's done some really solid films. Like he's been around forever. We really need to do like an older Adam Sandler film at some point. I like him. I'd like to see him do more serious roles. Like I don't know how well he's done with that, but I'd like to see him like try that more. Like where it's less comedy and it's more like more of a straight-laced role. But as far as the film goes and the final battle sequence, I'll give the final battle sequence credit for the length of it. For a long battle sequence with all that CGI and all those digital effects and all that stuff, I can only imagine what it must have been like filming all that in Canada. It must have been crazy. They were filming the like a lot of those scenes overnight, like in the middle of the night when they would shut the highways down so they could shoot. It's interesting. All that is very interesting to me. The production aspect of it, like I find that interesting. There must have been a lot of like dummies and squibs and actors and actresses portraying like the animated objects or the animated aliens or whatever on set during scenes, I'd imagine. But yeah, it's the digital effects look good, and the CGI is good, and I don't know how I feel about the whole Donkey Kong deal at the end, but like it looks good. Donkey Kong looks good. Like the Donkey Kong like person or whatever, like character or whatever looks dope. And the whole deal with Peter Dinklage's character wanting to do a threesome with Martha Stewart and and one of the Williams sisters or whatever. That is really out there. Like I don't know where the fuck they come up with that. You know what I'm saying? Like that combination of chicks to put together. Like that's far out there, dude. And then to get them together for a scene, like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see Martha Stewart on video doing OnlyFans shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, Peter Dinklage, but nobody wants to see that shit. I'm not paying for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that. Fuck Martha Stewart, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that. That's all I got to say about that. But I don't know what I think about the whole deal with Qbert transforming into a woman or whatever. Like, I don't know if Qbert was transgender or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what's going on with that. Like, I don't know how I felt about like a dude having babies with Qbert and having Qbert babies. That was kind of out there, bro. Like, I don't know what they were doing with all that. Come on now. Qbert babies? Like, seriously? Like, that's fucking crazy, bro. Can you imagine if your kids were Qbert babies? Come on now. So, like, that'd be fucked up, bro. I guess it was redeeming seeing Adam Sandler's character find out that he won the big arcade shit or whatever when he was like 12 years old. And that put him over the top at the end, that knowledge or whatever, like put him over the top. He got all OP and shit. After he found out about that, he was like, oh shit, I'm going OP now. What's up, Donkey Kong? OP time. I won the fucking arcade shit back in 1985 when Ronald Reagan was president. I love seeing Ronald Reagan in the movie. Anytime you get to see Ronald Reagan, it's good. You know what I'm saying? I like Ronald Reagan in DC animated movies, and I like Ronald Reagan in Pixels. It's good, baby. Ronald Reagan is the best. Anytime you can recreate Ronald Reagan and put him on screen, I'm in there for that, baby. I love me some Ronald Reagan. He was the fucking man. You know what I'm saying? I wish Ronald Reagan could come back to life and run for president again. I'm telling you. I'm serious.
Come back, Ronald Reagan. Come back.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the ghost of Ronald Reagan could run for president. It would be fucking great. Sarah Palin will come back and be his VP. You know what I'm saying? It'll be great. Yeah, so as far as the ending of Pixels goes, It was like Andrea said, somewhere along like the midpoint of the film or something like that. It does kind of drop off a little bit. The film loses a little bit of its thrust, and at that point it has to rely on the characters. So I mean, I think at that point it boils down to, in the audience, you have to connect with one or two of those main characters in some way to be able to be into the film. And I didn't connect really like with a lot of the characters. That was my problem with it. Was I didn't feel a connection with. I felt distant from some of the stuff. I like the soundtrack. The 80s music was good. I like 80s music, and I like the 80s motif in the beginning of the movie. That was great too. I loved seeing the cars on the street and all that. Like from the 80s. There were some interesting looking cars there, and like how they had the landscape all done up like the 80s and all that. The houses looked 80s style in that intro. I like that. And they had some good songs, that they had in the movie. There was some pretty good songs that I liked. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. The ending was okay. It was better than the ending of some other movies.
Excellent. Thank you. Andres, same question, sir.
Yes. No. Yeah, this. I don't know. Like, I like the scale of the film. The money is there, the screen. I feel like this third act is very anticlimactic. I think it should be a bit more. Like more action scenes, or like I don't know, like have Josh Gad, doing what Adam Sandler told him to do. Stay put on Earth and defend the people. Maybe have Peter Dinklage still in like the Mini Cooper, like bring back Pac-Man in the Washington D.C. and like have like this really cool chase scene of Peter actually, not cheating for once, because I think that could have been more satisfying. Because like we just like, I mean, first off, the whole cheating thing is like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like it was so thrown out there. I was like, oh my god, okay, I see. And first off, like, how the hell you cannot see those cheating codes in the glasses? Like that was not that small. Like, how advanced is those glasses? I was like, what the hell's going on here? I was like, okay, so I mean, whatever, I mean, it's there, I mean, it's just important, but I just feel like maybe we need a bit more of like bus and a bit more like other famous, like I'm not familiar with some of the arcade characters, like maybe more arcade characters that we maybe haven't seen, like in the movie. That'd be kind of cool to see interacting with our heroes, for that. The Donkey Kong, I really liked the Donkey Kong. I thought he looked really awesome in live action. That was kind of cool. I like how they were very faithful to the game. I never had a problem with the Adam Sandler arc. I thought his arc was consistent, because throughout the film, he was talking about like what I am, like who I am, like what's my importance, like what's like my skill. Is my skills work, because that's been a thing that they're talking about throughout the film, and I actually appreciate that they were consistent about it. I kind of wish that the alien invasion, you always have the one alien, like the general or the talk head of the aliens that's running the ship. Like, I kind of wish we had that. I don't know, like it'd be kind of cool. Like they bring back Dan, the judge from the movie, Dan Aykroyd. It'd be funny you bring Dan Aykroyd as the villain, and I was like, whoa, and like Anna Sandler has to beat him up. I mean, not beat him up. I mean, he's an old guy. Come on, but like he has to like go for like another round of a game. Like I don't know what, like some arcade that he has to do to defeat the main villain, and then that's how he saved the world. Because I feel like it's like, oh, that's it. Just after being Donkey Kong is like, that's it. No, oh, okay. Yeah, and The hot chick, Jess Gad's obsession with the hot chick. I mean, that was kind of true in real life, so I didn't have a problem with that. And uh oh, whoa, you okay there? The ghost is not attacking you, sir.
I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay, good. I was like, oh my god, we got the real ghost. We need to call the Ghostbusters. Who we gonna call the Ghostbusters? Say, Ghostbusters. Um, um, yeah. So I was not weirded out about like what was it, Kerpit, the orange creature thing that turns into the lady. I was not weird about it because the fact that they explain that, because that he is our trophy, we won, and the fact that if you play the games, right, like you get a wish or something like that, right, it will grant to you that. So that I was not surprised about that, but I was surprised they went forward and say like he's gonna have babies and has these like video game babies. I'm like, whoa. Okay. I was shocked that they bring back like I was shocked that they brought um Stewart, Martin Stewart. I was like, oh, shut up. They did it.